to our return to Day for Strings. The last one we did was 2019. We did a virtual Day for Strings in 2021. Last year, we still needed a minute. So this is our first one back. So thank you so much to everyone for participating, for joining us today. Thank you to my colleagues for helping get this going. Thank you to our clinicians and everybody. I'll give all their names later, but we're just so grateful to be here today in this space doing Day for Strings for the first time in 4 years? 3 years? So let's give ourselves a foot shuffle for that, yeah? Day for Strings started a little over 30 years ago. I believe it was 1991 here in Farmington Hills. And it was started by an orchestra teacher at the time, Kay DeLuca, and a community member, an FPS parent, and DSO member, Mr. Larry Hutchinson, who's right over here. Larry? Yes, thank you. We would not be here today doing this if it wasn't for them, so we appreciate this legacy that they created and started for us here in Farmington Public Schools. This is a wonderful day for our students and for our community. What this day does is it brings us together outside of the four walls of our classroom to make music with other musicians in the district, but also to learn and experience and work with musicians in our community. We have coaches, our violin coaches, viola coach, cello bass coach from across the state of Michigan who've joined us today and worked with your students. I'll introduce them in a few minutes. We have guest conductors who are from across the state of Michigan who came to work here today. So it's a wonderful opportunity to see that what we're doing with these instruments isn't just about getting an A in sixth grade orchestra and making it work for a year. There's more to it than that. Music is about community, and it's about companionship and making music with others to uplift and make the world a little bit of a better place. So that's what we're here to do today. And that leads me to our sixth grade group. This is our first year with our new sixth grade music program in Farmington Public Schools, and we're so excited about it. We've got kids participating that wouldn't have necessarily thought to sign up, and they're having a great time. They're learning these instruments, and they're doing a fantastic job. They've had class for 13 weeks, and I think you will be quite amazed to see what they've accomplished if you haven't seen it already when they've been at home practicing. Right, guys? Yeah. So I'm going to hand it off to Mrs. Joanna Van Isinga. She is our conductor today. She is an orchestra teacher in Troy Public Schools, where she teaches the fifth grade program there. She's a violinist with the Gaylord Symphony in Gaylord, Michigan. She's a fantastic educator and violinist, and I'm going to hand it over to you.
I am so excited to be here. Thanks. Because, gosh, I've had a great morning with the sixth graders. I'm so impressed with what they've done. If you weren't sure, parents, there are some good teaching going on in Farmington Schools and Orchestra. I'm seeing some great things with how well set up the sixth graders are for success. Sixth graders, will you give a hand to your teachers, please? With your feet. Yeah, thank you. So you probably heard, especially at the beginning of the year, there was a lot of plucking going on. So we call that pizzicato, and we try to separate our left and right hand skills by playing a lot of things pizzicato, working on the bow separately, and then putting them together. So to demonstrate our journey from pizzicato to playing with the bow, we're going to play our first song, Hot Cross Buns, 2 ways for you. So the first way, if you didn't set your bow down, make sure it's down. Basses, you might want to stand up and pick up your bass. The first way we're going to play it is just pizzicato, plucking the string. And then I'm going to play it by myself on the piano, and we're going to play it a second time with the bow. Got it, sixth graders? Remember what to do? Awesome. So one of the skills we've worked on today is performance skills. So this might be a little different when we're getting ready for a concert than what we do in class sometimes. So when we're in a performance, we do what's called rest position. Once your music's ready, show your family your best rest position. Yeah, so we're working on doing that in between songs. This is new for them, how to act in the performance. So our next song is going to be Mary Had a Little Lamb. In this one, we have half notes, which are notes that have 2 beats, and we have to learn how to use our bow differently for this. So we have to have a slower bow speed on the half notes to keep them going. So we're going to do this one just once with the bow. So we played a couple of basic tunes for you. Now we're going to level it up a little bit because we've been playing in unison so far. Now we're going to add a bass line. So we're going to have a 2-part song. We're going to play it 2 ways. So the first time, half of us are going to play the melody with the bow, and half of us are going to play the bass line pizzicato. Raise your hand if you played the melody the first time. Yeah, violas, cellos, and basses with the bow. All right, so violins, you're getting ready to play Set Your Bow Down. You're going to do pizzicato bass line first. Then I'm going to play the whole tune again in the middle, and we're going to swap parts. So violins, you'll have to pick up your bow. Everyone else will have to put it down. We got it? Questions before we start? So this is an old American fiddle tune called Boil Them Cabbage Down. So you'll hear back from the 6th graders again in a few minutes, but I want to give a shout out to a couple of people. Ms. Vargo for playing violin with us and helping us in rehearsal. And we also had a second clinician right back here with a bass in his hands. This is Mr. Eddie Haspatcher. He teaches in Ann Arbor Schools, elementary and middle school orchestra. It was such a treat. The basses got some special time to play with a real live bass player that they don't always get to do at school. So please give Mr. Haspatcher a hand for his help today.
So speaking as someone who's been in the thick of it with these kids, so much work went into what you just saw just now. Can you give them another round of applause, please, for these 6th graders? They worked so hard. Bravo, you guys. I'm so proud of you. And thank you so much to our staff who teach 6th grade orchestra, Mrs. Sandy Vargo at Power, and Miss Julia Richards at STEAM. The other 2 buildings will be here in the afternoon. I want to also thank Mr. Steele from Farmington High School. He also helps with the 6th grade. Thank you. We're going to now turn to our other middle school group, our 7th graders here today. They have been playing. Raise your hand if you guys started in 5th grade. Raise your hand if you started in 6th grade. Let's go. Yes. Okay. So some of them have been playing this would be their 3rd year. Some of them, this is their 2nd year. So one of the cool things about today is you get to see beginning, middle, intermediate. It's not the end, though, right? Because then you can go on and play in the DSO or be a music teacher or teach your own private studio locally. There's lots that you can do. I want to thank our 7th grade orchestra teachers who are here. Mrs. Sydney Campbell from Warner. Ms. Julia Richards from STEAM. And myself, Ms. Caitlin Mihelko from East. I don't know if I introduced myself. Hello, my name is Caitlin Mihelko, and I teach at East Middle School. I think I forgot that part. Sorry. It's okay. These 7th graders have really been working hard to push their boundaries and their skills to learn some new music. We have been so honored and privileged to have Ms. Jean Lee with us here today. She taught orchestra at Okemos High School, one of the premier orchestra programs in the state and country. She taught their middle school program as well for many years, and now she is instructing coordinator for the string music ed program at Michigan State University. So we are so honored to have her here today. And I'm going to hand the microphone to her so she can speak to you.
I'm just sitting here marveling, and I'm an orchestra parent as well. My oldest is a middle school cellist, and my other 2 little ones are just starting in spring. So parents, I mean, take it all in. Look at this amazing snapshot that you're getting of this program. And, you know, we didn't do this in Okemos, and gosh, we should. But because I think it's really neat, and it's very important for not only the students, but also parents, for you to see where the journey begins and then where it ends up. And so if we can just give a special shout out to all the teachers here at Farmington for coordinating this amazing event. I know it took a lot of logistics and a lot of planning, so bravo, hats off to our teachers here. All right, so we just saw where they started, and literally as the 6th graders were playing, I heard people in the 7th and 8th grade going, oh, I remember doing that. Gosh, that feels so long ago. Do you remember? Pizzicato, hot cross buns. Okay. All right, so now you can see them functioning as an orchestra here, so we are about to start. I got my iPad here. Okay, we're going to start with Stone Mountain Stop, and we're going to be watching for the 16th notes. We went from playing quarter notes and half notes in pizzicato in 6th grade, and now we're doing the fancy little fiddle style and 16th notes here and independent parts. So we hope you enjoy Stone Mountain Stop.
Oh, there it is. Thank you so much, Ms. Leeds.
I also want to acknowledge 4 wonderful high school helpers that assisted us during the rehearsals this morning. Would you please stand? And some of them played along with us too just now. Yes, thank you. And I have to say, I think the Farmington Orchestra staff is incredible because these high school, I mean, they could be future educators. I mean, the way they were assisting and the advice they were giving during rehearsal was spot on. So that's a testament to the fine education they had. So parents, again, the whole picture right there. So really fine instruction. Thank you all so much for having me. Bravo, 7th and 8th grade. Keep going.
Well done, you guys. That was wonderful. I want to take a moment before we go to our high school students to thank our Farmington Public Schools administrators. We have Mr. LaCroix here today from East Middle School, our administrators at Warner and STEAM and Power. They're the ones advocating for us and helping support our programs, our central office administration, Dr. Kelly Coffin, Margaret Hendrickson, and Dr. Delgado. They've done so much to help support our music program as we rebuild from the pandemic. And I just want to give them a round of applause and thank you for all that they do to support our program. So we were fortunate today to have some clinician staff working with our 7th grade and high school sectionals. And if you're in the room, if you could please stand and wave, that would be wonderful. We have Ms. Stacy Bowen from Detroit Country Day School, who's a violin coach. Ms. Linda Trotter from West Bloomfield High School. Mr. David Trains, who is a viola coach over here. Mr. Andrew Barnhart, where is he? There he is, cello instructor. And Ms. Marlo Williams for bass, sorry. Thank you. They did a wonderful job working with the students in independent sections on their part before they came to their rehearsals. So thank you for your time and being here today. I'm going to hand it off next to our high school group. And as a middle school teacher, it just makes me so proud and happy to see so many wonderful students in this group that I know and love dearly, and to see you guys continuing in high school. And I have the distinct honor of welcoming and introducing to you our clinician for the high schools today, Mr. Rodney Page. Mr. Page and I go way back to my days when I was a student at Michigan State University, and I used to observe in his classroom in St. John's, Michigan, where he was an orchestra teacher. Since then, he's gone on to become a professional DJ, a guest clinician, conductor around the country. He was a Pistons DJ one year. He was the official DJ of the Pistons. If you have a student that went to East Middle School, he comes every couple years for our Martin Luther King Day event to be a guest speaker, motivational speaker, and DJ and play his violin. He really is just an all-around talented human being and one of the kindest, warmest, most amazing human beings I know. So please, a round of applause for Rodney Page.
thank you so much for having me come and work with your students today. And quickly, I also wanted to say this actually to the parents, and this is nothing that the teachers told me to say. Please continue to support the fine arts here in Farmington. Volunteer, chaperone, bake cookies, whatever it takes. Please make sure that you support it. I go to schools all across the country, and you'll be amazed about how many school districts don't even have an orchestra. And even in this day and age, especially after COVID, they don't even have a music program of any kind, band, orchestra, or choir. So please make sure you support your teachers any way that you can. Please encourage your students to practice. I have 2 children also that play strings, and I know they don't always want to practice, but it's the only way that you can really get better. So continue to support your program here because you really have a gem. Again, my name is Rodney Page. It's really been a pleasure to work with your students today, and I hope you enjoy our last piece.
I would just like to give another round of applause to our high school musicians. That was fantastic. All right, so this is the part that makes all of the teachers hold their breath for a minute, because we're going to attend something that we have not been able to rehearse, and it's going to go well, right, guys? Yes. And listen, everyone sitting in these stands, they love you anyways, right? Right? They're like, no, we demand perfection. It's okay. But that's the cool thing about being musicians. We have the knowledge and skills, and we have conductors, and it's going to be great. I just want to give a final thank you, again, to our guest clinicians, our guest conductors, the FPS staff that we all worked together to put this together today. Thank you to all of our parent volunteers. If you were a parent volunteer, could you please stand up? Thank you for being here today, for helping things run smoothly and direct children, or just wave your hand if you feel like it. Shout out to TV10 as well. They're recording this, and I believe it will be on the YouTube. Yes, maybe? Yes, and the local TV channel, if you get that. So it really is cool to be here today with all of you. I was sitting on the floor just like you guys a few years ago as a student myself. Mrs. Vargo was my teacher. I would not be here today without her. I've got my whole collection of Day for Strings shirts at home. Mrs. Vargo started teaching when she was like 5, you guys. So just to be clear, she was a prodigy. We are going to end with a piece called Simple Gifts. And this piece, if you've heard it before, it's a beautiful piece, but it's going to feature each of our student ensembles first separately and at the end all together. And it's going to be great, right? All right, thank you for the encouragement. When we are done, I'm not going to talk at you again. The 6th grade violins, parents, audience members, family members, if you don't mind, please wait until all the students have exited the space until you leave. That way they can get where they need to go. We would really appreciate you. High schoolers are going to go back to the auditorium to do what they need to do. 7th graders are going to go to their coat rooms to pack up. So violins and violas were down in the 900 hallway. Cellos and basses were in that band room in the back, room 111. 6th grade violins, you're going to go to the cafeteria. And violas, cellos, bass, you're going to go to the aux gym. And parents, family members, that's where you can find your child afterward, unless you've made other arrangements. Thumbs up if we understand. I do this with my students. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, thank you so much for being here today. Students, give your families a round of applause, please. For the parents, family members who are here to support you and encourage you and love you, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.